In spite of global, regional and sub-regional peace operation efforts in war-torn zones across the world, peace agreements by nations seem to fail, thereby creating more conflicts in such territories. Innocent citizens tend to bear the brunt of incessant failures, a situation the United Nations Security Council considers unacceptable.
It's 18 months since we last discussed security sector reform, and in that time, over 780,000 people have been killed by armed violence. That's almost one person every minute. Too many of them occurred in countries which were emerging from conflict, where stability, security and justice have yet to be embedded. We've all got a role to play to stop these deaths.
It is in response to these challenges that Nigeria is once again placing the existing platform for action in Security Sector Reform (SSR) Resolution 2151 on the front burner. This time, Nigeria is requesting for collaborative and concerted efforts at the global, regional and national levels. The essence is to develop efficient and accountable security establishments like the armed forces and intelligence organizations to address these complex situations. Senior United Nations officials contributed to the crucial debate, enumerating concrete steps for a strong footing for the rule of law.
We continue to see high levels of violence against women and girls in conflict, and unfortunately with high levels of impunity.
Essentially, a comprehensive response to conflict-related sexual violence must include proactive and purposeful engagement with the security sector, particularly in settings where the security services may have been involved in the commission of sexual violence.
They also discussed clarity of roles for all agents of the reform process and the preventive dimension of security sector reform. The Council adopted 21 resolutions containing elements of security sector reform and management in the last 16 months. In 17 of the operations, the United Nations is actively assisting countries personalize their security sector to tackle national and regional security threats. In spite of the modest progress, member states admit that strong political will from countries strengthen national efforts.
SSR can only be achieved if host countries themselves agree to it. No one can impose or import security system. This simply doesn't work, at least in the long term.
States must continue to take the lead in determining their security sector priorities. This is the essence and primacy of the idea of national ownership.
The debate is a follow-up to the core of Nigeria's presidency in 2014, which led to the adoption of a standalone resolution on security sector reform in the history of the United Nations Security Council. From the United Nations headquarters in New York, Joy Osiagwu, NTA News.